What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Muscle, and this is another Two Line Music Hut's Entertainment Report podcast. And actually, this is a continuation episode. You know who we have. Spex Da Boss from the last podcast episode.
Yo.
And where we finished was you meeting Lindo P
You remember
in 1989.
Wow. Man, and you know, that's so funny because it was like I think them times are, I believe it was, the show was Rap City or something like that.
Okay.
And they had like some kind of special, had a whole bunch of like Canadian artists on it, and I think some DJs and MCs and prominent people in the industry at that time.
Yeah.
And young emerging talent. And all of a sudden the host, I'm not sure who it was, it could have been even Master T.
Okay.
That was hosting. They brought up Lindo P out of nowhere, and Lindo just started doing his style. And you know, them times there was like the Daddy Freddy style, the Lieutenant Stitchy style, the Papa San style, and Lindo, you know, reggae and dancehall and yard style. You know, when you come in, it's like a different effect. You know what I mean? In just, you know what I mean, whatever's going on.
Yeah.
You know, Jamaicans, you know, we would just overpower everything, and he came in with that fast style with the whatever, you know, he just went off with it, and I was like, wow, you know, because of the first time I actually seen, you know what I mean, reggae and dancehall like that on Canadian Toronto television to that degree. Nothing watered down like a red wine or like a musical youth, and no disrespect to any of those artists in those songs. But I'm talking about something that was more hardcore and from Toronto, and that was the first time I actually seen Lindo P. So it just happened that weekend I happened to be playing a basement dance for a girl that went to Cedar Brae Collegiate. Big up to Michelle Duncan on the outside. She played Galway Lancers basketball too on my sister's team, and she just happened to be having a Sweet 16 birthday party, and I was the DJ for it as Paragon Sound. And I was with I believe Demas Everett, who was the one, you know, King Everett Sound, which, you know, Turbo, you know. Anyways, so I was with him and Spanish from Red Flame. Yes. Because me and because a lot of people don't know as much as, you know, Turbo and Red Flame at war. Me and Spanish, you went to high school at around them times at the same time there. So for a brief stint, he went to West Hill, and we used to go to, you know, record shopping and go buy records together and stuff like that. So anyways, we went to go and check him down at Crow Trail, and we were going through the catwalk in Crow Trail, and Lindo P was walking through the cat trail, the catwalk. So so my cousin knew him. He's like, yo, Spex, this is Lindo P. And so as soon as Lindo P heard it, that was Spex, and I heard it was Lindo P at the same time, he's like, you're Spex? And I'm like, you're Lindo P? Because at the same time, you know, we were really, you know what I mean, dominating high schools and, you know what I mean, as far as school dances and stuff like that. So it was like, yo, I go on, and, you know, he goes, yo, where you playing tonight? And I'm like, yo, I'm playing up the road at the basement dance. You know what I mean? He goes, I come up there. You know what I mean? I come DJ too. You know, Lindo always wants to, you know, DJ and sing and do his thing same way. So, you know, we were up there, you know, playing at the basement dance, and it was like about like 300 people in the basement, you know what I mean, for the Sweet 16 and mashing up the dance. And then Lindo just came down there fresh off the Much Music thing. My thing kind of hot because I mean, you know, Spex and the Paragon thing was hot with Ceston and BJ and, you know, Demas and Platty Ranks and the whole, we were there. And, you know what I mean, Lindo came and just, you know what I mean, he said, give me a rhythm, and, you know, just gave him that style there, man. And that was like, you know what I mean, when we really, you know, connected on that musical vibe, man.
That's crazy. The thing with it, so you didn't meet him as a DJ, as selector.
No, man.
You met him as an
artist.
Like
thing, man. It's just like, you know what I mean, like just planets just collided.
That's crazy, dude. Everybody was from Scarborough, but this is the first time you're actually connecting in that type of way. Man. That's crazy right there. Big up Lindo P 100%.
Yeah, man, for real.
Now. You know what I mean? There was something else I was asking you when we were speaking on the other episode. What are some of your greatest accomplishments on and off of King Turbo?
On King Turbo, definitely being a part of King Turbo and being part of a magical, you know, whole movement, being a part of something like that, you know, that was just, you know, so, you know, trailblazing, groundbreaking, you know what I mean, something that's never ever, you know what I mean, really being done to that degree in Canadian history, and probably never ever will be done. You know, that's definitely a great accomplishment. Another great accomplishment with King Turbo is, you know, the people I've met, you know what I mean, the you know, the work that I was able to accomplish as a, you have to understand, you know, as I said, you know, my parents are from Jamaica. I'm born in North York as a Canadian, and to be able to say I've met some of the greatest, if not almost all of those that have been relevant in reggae dancehall music from the 80s up until nowadays. And, you know what I mean, through King Turbo, it gave me that drive because when I first joined King Turbo, you know, King Turbo was already hot. You know what I mean? They were, you know what I mean, established, you know, in a sense. Even though I was amongst them, you know, their thing was just their thing. I was just like the little youth in the corner just watching the whole movement. So their thing was kind of established in a sense. So for me to, you know, join Turbo, you know, you just had to be great. It's not any, like and believe me, you know, many selectors, you know what I mean, from around the world. You know what I mean? A lot of, you know what I mean, even selectors and sounds that come from different parts of the world that move and reside here in Toronto, Canada now, or in Canada, you know what I mean, want to play Turbo or want to take Turbo to where they are and, you know, bring it to where they are. So, you know what I mean, I had to be able to offer something different, not only just being able to mix, not only being able to select, not even be able to, you know what I mean, protect the assets, not only be able, you know what I mean? So I had to, you know,
bring some of that magic.
Yeah, and when I promised them, I said, you know what I mean, when I first met them, I said, you know, what are you going to bring to the table different? Big up to Tool and big up to Droopy and big up to Slingshot, you know what I mean, for, you know what I mean, bringing me on to the sound, you know what I mean? Because they really fought for me, especially after, we did a dance thing. You know, even though I was amongst them and them, you know, there was a dance that we played. I believe it was the Return of King Turbo at Ricky Tuffy's house. Rest in peace, Ricky Tuffy.
Okay.
And it was Turbo, them playing Barry Culture and Paragon. And, you know what I mean? I can say I ruined Turbo's homecoming that day. There's still, you know what I mean? Big up the Flash and, you know, big up the Demas, you know what I mean? But, you know, I was just always that person that selected without the dubs and was able to just select and mix and things. So, you know what I mean? People just love that.
Flavor to
but as I was saying, so they asked me, what are you going to bring different that, you know what I mean, that we can't already do and all that? And I said, you know what, I'll get dubs, you know what I mean? And, you know what I mean? What kind of dubs you going to do? I said, you know, Barry Simon. I said, Shinehead, Maxi Priest. I forget, Jimmy Cliff. Like just a few artists, because at them times you couldn't just get them artists there, you know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? So that's how I started getting my little drive and started just meeting all the artists. And when I got my portable studio, in which nobody had, I was able to cut out the middlemen them and link with the artist directly, you know what I mean? Make a phone call or whatever, you know what I mean? So another accomplishment, you know what I mean? Just, as I said, just creating history, man.
Some
trophies, I mean? There's so many
awards.
You know what I mean? Trophy, I would probably say the Black Reaction one, which I fought for. You know what I mean? You know, you have to go back. And you had me even thinking about that whole night there too, with the whole Black Reaction clash. You know, they were hot. You know, them in Super Fresh and, you know, and Digital them time there.
Wow, this
man. You know what I mean?
Digital.
Yeah, I mean, Digital, man. Probably the sound that frightened me the most in Canadian history.
100%.
You know what I mean? And don't be fooled. I think they're still cutting harder even now and haven't stopped cutting till this day. Big up to Bumpy still. You know what I mean? Because, you know, I always find out why I go on and that thing still. But, you know what I mean? That time they're really, really, really hot. You know what I mean? Like fire. And, you know, everyone thing just looked to Turbo as to defend the thing. And Turbo wasn't really a clash. And we were a juggling sound. And we just loved juggling playing. You know what I mean? But I guess, you know what I mean? Everyone So during that clash, you know, they were winning. They were giving us all the new bounties and the cobras and the this and the that and the next. We were building the foundation and, you know what I mean, breaking it down to, you know, with big sound play, big tune. I used to, you know, say, and that was a moniker and the whole Georgia the Jungle thing. And then, you know what I mean, at the end, you know what I mean, when I knew in my heart that we won, you know what I mean? I knew in our heart won. The people them said that we won. And I remember Natty Brits and Paul Watson, them man ganging up, you know what I mean, the whole jungle, because we were jungle, you know what I mean, in the whole jungle.
In their back,
man, they were like, yo, give the trophy. And they started warring with Ron and Ting. And, you know what I mean, I remember Slingshot saying something like, you know what, I can't bar that because Slingshot's not the kind of confrontation of her. It's like, you know what, just give them the trophy. So I saw them handing them over the trophy because Slingshot said, and I just jumped in and said, we have to go Slingshot. Grab that trophy. You know what I mean, brought it back to barbecue at Birchman and 14th that we're playing at, and I brought the trophy to the barbecue, drank some champagne out of it and celebrated. So that was a great accomplishment. And you know, the Mighty Crown King Addies tag team clash. You know, definitely accomplishment. And not just by, you know, being able to rally back and win that clash, but it introduced a new technology, a Serato, that clash there. And, you know what I mean, trying to, you know, take a step and, you know, take a chance. And it was really the first clash that we took without Ricky being on the sound at that times there too. So, you know what I mean, just to show, you know what I mean, that we can do it, you know what I mean, regardless who, because, you know, the sound was kind of built, you know what I mean, where anyone that has common sense should be able to, you know, take it in.
The machine.
and move the machine. Yeah, exactly.
Makes sense.
You know what I mean? I was going to say destroy machines, but, you know, we'll be politically correct.
Yeah, I moved the machine. What about some Spex accomplishments?
Spex accomplishments. Being able to survive in this game for so long.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? A lot of people say Canada's #1 or this, that, next, and other. And I just been blessed to be, you know what I mean, consistent. You know what I mean?
That's the biggest trophy.
You know, I don't think that's probably the title I'd want that you should give me, you know what I mean? Because I see everyone getting Canada's this, you know what I mean? That, you know what I mean? But I think I would say consistency.
Yeah.
So being able to maintain that and, you know what I mean, going through so many hard times and, you know, dark times, very depressive times
For sure.
in this whole game. Being through what we've seen, you know what I mean? We've seen people come, people go, like literally in the business and in life, you know what I mean?
100%.
So being able to survive, that's another accomplishment. Being able to break barriers such as, you know what I mean, being on Much Music, you know, as a DJ and being there with Bounty Killer and Beanie Man and, you know,
Most of them were on Much at that time?
Yeah, the same day. Bounty Killer, Beanie Man, Baby Sham was supposed to be there, but he missed his flight or something like that.
Yeah.
Who else is there? Silver Fox, what's his name? Silver Cat.
Yes.
There's a few artists on. There was a big festival that happened down in Toronto at that time there.
Okay.
And yeah, so being able to break that barriers and being able to, you know what I mean, show people my skills as far as mixing down artists and live, you know what I mean, and you know, and being able to be amongst giants in the game at the time, you know what I mean?
Do you remember what year that was?
I honestly don't know. I have it posted on my Instagram. I don't know if the date's on there.
Okay.
But
you say that's probably
I mean,
late
that's another
90s,
accomplishment.
Early 2000s.
Yeah, I would say that. I would honestly say probably about like whenever the Bug Rhythm came out. So about 2001, I'd say. If
Between
that was around
99 to 201.
Yeah,
somewhere
I would say
between
around there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, you know, being able to do morning ride and, you know, start to fulfill a dream, you know, rest in peace, Blue, and thank you very much for that. You know what I mean? Getting married, having a daughter, making an epic proposal, you know, for my wedding, having a great wedding too, surviving a car accident.
Yes, I
you know,
remember,
getting hit by a Mack
that.
truck.
It was a Mack truck.
Yeah, man, a Mack truck. You know what I mean? It's a kind of a funny story too.
This guy's funny.
Yeah, it's funny, you know what I mean, after, you know, because, you know, I have to learn to, you know, look back and laugh, even though, you know what I mean, at times, you know, I still go through pain and stuff like that. But I was doing my driving test. Yeah, I was doing
I see where this is going.
Yeah, man, I was doing my driving test and I was coming to the end of my driving test.
Yeah.
You know, heading back to the place and making the left turn, you know, on the signal. And, you know, one car went through, and then I was going through, and a Mack truck ran a red light and just smash, boom, hit me in the driving test person.
Wow.
Yeah, man, and he rode off my whole car, and, you know, I just give thanks for life because, you know, everyone thought I was a goner, or at least came out with, like, some broken bones and stuff, and I just came out with, like, really pain and...
That's
you know what I
crazy.
mean? Bedridden for a bit. Went back to work the next day and all that because, you know, radio...
It has to go on.
It
show must go on.
So, you know, being able to, you know, bounce back for that and survive that, you know what I mean? Just so many things. Bass Odyssey, Clash in Montreal.
That was
big
the
one
first
where
time
you know,
you guys played the Marcia and Barris.
Yes, the Marcia and Barris. And then even the story with that one there. You know what I mean? They came down here for our concert, and them times it was kind of important to have the artists them together when you did combination dubs. Even though a lot of the combinations at those times weren't done, you know, with artists them together as far as on record in studio.
Yeah.
But as far as dub plates, it made so much more of a difference. You know, just for energy vibes, writing, composing, and stuff like that, and telling them where to drop in with harmonies, and you know what I mean, just. You know what I mean? Producing, you know what I mean? So we, me and Mighty, big up to Mighty, you know, we chased Marcia Griffiths down all day here in Toronto, and she was willing to do it, but Barris was just too busy, you know what I mean? And he was tired, and you know what I mean? So Marcia Griffiths knows me. I'm like a pest when it comes to dub plates, you know what I mean?
What's up?
So I said, yo, Marcia, you know, I'm going to come to Montreal.
Yeah.
She goes, you know, I'll come to Montreal.
Yeah.
I said, I'm coming to Montreal. She goes, if you come to Montreal, I will get it done in Montreal.
Yeah.
So I said, all right. So me and Mike said, yo, we have to go to Montreal. So we called Slingshot. And Slingshot said, "You're gonna go to Montreal. You're not gonna get it done." I said, "Slingshot, I'm gonna get it done, man." Now, remember, I made this promise to them many years ago about I took that job very, very serious, and still take that job very, very serious. And Slingshot said, "All right, let's go." So we think, boom, drove out to Montreal. You know what I mean? Before the concert, they said they're not voicing before the concert. So after the concert, they said, "Okay, we'll do after the concert." So after the concert, they said, "No, they're not gonna do after the concert." We didn't even book a hotel, nothing, eh?
Because you didn't come to stay.
We didn't know we were gonna stay. So you know what I mean? So Slingshot said, "Oh, it's not gonna get done. Let's just head back." And I said, "Slingshot, let's just hold on." He goes, "Where are we gonna stay?" And I go, "Yo, we'll just stay in the car."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because at any time they can call us. You know what I mean? And we have to be ready. And you know what I mean? And sometimes have the rhythm them load up in the portable studio and the microphone, them headphones, them set up everything, whatever. So I was gonna voice in the car. I was gonna go in the room, voice it, or in the hallway, or
wherever.
you know, borrow a boardroom in the hotel somewhere and get it done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, you know what I mean? At the concert, they said they weren't going to do it. So we had to fall asleep in the car. So in the morning, you know what I mean? As daylight broke, you know, we started calling Marcia, and she just got fed up. And she goes, "Yo, just come upstairs." You know what I mean? So I went up to her room, and, you know, I just said, you know, I really need this. And plus, we have the Clash of Bass Odyssey, and nobody has this on dub.
Okay.
Like, nobody has this on dub. Even if you listen to the intro of the dub, it says no one in the world has it on dub. So we ended up... you know, she ended up calling Barris, and Barris said, "You know what I mean? Come, just let me talk to him." So Barris goes, so we went in the room. Barris says, "You know, I don't want to do it. Plus, you know, we have the long ride to New York and whatever the case is." So I said, "You know what? All right, I'm coming to New York."
Yeah.
So Marcia goes, "No, man. No, Barris, don't make him do that." I said, "Barris, I will show up at your front door, eh?"
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that's how, you know, persistent I am.
Yeah.
And so Barris goes, Marcia goes, "You can't make him do that. The man drive out." And Barris said, "All right, come make her do it." So we just, you know what I mean? I ran downstairs and I said, "Yo, Slingshot, we're going to do it right now." You know, everything ready, you know what I mean? So, you know, we went upstairs, and then they penned it out because they never did it on dub before and all that, you know what I mean? And we got it done. You know what I mean? And yeah, that's the story.
Legendary.
And then what's even more funny is like about 3 weeks after that, you know, my wife, them times, you know what I mean? Somebody I was seeing, we went to Jamaica for some fest or something like that. You know what I mean? And them times, you know, I said, you know what, I got to go to Kingston. I left her in Montego Bay, and Barris is her favorite singer. And I went straight to Barris's house and showed up at Barris's doorstep. You know what I mean? So when Barris and people that came to the door, I go, "You can't tell me Spex, I'm King Turbo."
Yeah.
You know, man, Barris is around the corner and goes, no, don't tell me, no. So when he sees me show up at that, you know what I mean? I'm like, "Yo, what's up? You know, we need to do some work." You know what I mean? And then that's when I started doing the Barris Buju Combi, and then Barris and Sizzla Combi, and then Barris. And that's when I, you know what I mean, really started taking the combination game even, you know, on more of a bigger level. Big shout out to Atul, you know what I mean, who really said combinations. And then, you know, another accomplishment was like even with Shaggy, fresh off the Grammy, you know, voicing him inside Much Music on dub.
What?
Yeah, man. Like, you know, I mean, just so many accomplishments. There's so many things that I've done that people would never, ever believe. You know what I mean? You know, accomplishment. Another promise I made to those guys was getting Supercat on dub. And they say, you know, them time there's like, you're not getting Supercat on dub. You know what I mean? And we tried a few times when he was here in Toronto. Even to the point where one time he bad up Ricky real bad. Bad up Ricky the first time I saw it. Because I always heard the stories about Supercat. But I saw this story and things. So, you know, I had to, you know what I mean? So it took a lot of years to really, you know what I mean? For him to get to know me, and you know what I mean? Get comfortable, interviewed him a few times, you know, went to a few shows, you know, met him backstage, and you know what I mean? So, you know what I mean, on the Jamrock Cruise, you know what I mean, everything kind of sealed up, and I was able to, you know what I mean, seal the deal. And
from there.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So just a lot of accomplishments,
It's
man.
really relationships and contacts would make
it is
happen.
all, man.
You know what I mean?
The whole game is all about, like anyone in the, like, you know, advice to any younger DJ or anyone out there for anything, anyone that you want to know in the world or anyone that you want to get to in the world is one person away. You just got to find that one person. You know what I mean? And that's what it really, really is. You know?
You're right. You brought up something, Jamrock Cruise.
Yes, sir.
I would swear from the very first Jamrock Cruise, you were on it.
No, I was trying to get on it.
You weren't on the first
I was on the second one. The very first year I had heard about it and seen it online, and Baby Sham was telling me about it, and I was like, "Yo, Baby Sham, you got to get me on." He goes, "Yo, me taught the gang feel, right?" And it went and passed the very first one, and you know, Capleton was on the first one. Big up to Capleton and his beautiful family, you know, and you know, not Capleton the artist, but you know, for those that are watching this, you know what I mean? Capleton original. Don't tell me, why would you tell me that, man? Rest in peace, the sweetness, and big up to Super and the whole crew, and big up to Snowbank.
Yes.
Yeah, so he was telling me about it and said, "Yo, you gotta get on that cruise," or whatever the case is, and I totally had forgotten about it, and And as you said, it's about relationships and communications. And, you know, I forged a lot of relationships in this game, and even relationships that I did not mean to forge or I didn't try to forge. Yeah. One thing about this game, again, too, another advice for anyone, you know what I mean, in this game is that you're always being auditioned. You know what I mean? Always being auditioned. So you got to really know how you're carrying yourself and, you know what I mean, know how you deal with things. And yeah, you know what I mean? Sometimes I'm a hothead, and you know what I mean, I come from a time, and you know, where we used to come to dance like 40 of us, and all of us are hotheads because you know what I mean. You know, we got to do this. You know what I mean. This is our opportunity. This is our audition, and you know what I mean. You know, big shout out going out to Christy Barber. You know, she linked me, and you know what I mean. She said, "Yo, you know, I got good news for you." And I was like, "What's up?" You know, you're coming on the cruise, and I was like, "What cruise is that about?" You know, the Jamrock Cruise. Damien and everybody, we all talk, Steven and all that. You know what I mean. And that's how it really went on. And you know what I mean? I wasn't really there the first time as a DJ, really. Okay. You know what I mean? I was just there as media and just sort of being Spex and being, I was there as a Canadian ambassador to call it, you know, to represent, you know, because
Canada.
You know, to Canada. And, you know, but, you know, by the time I got there and they saw the power, you know what I mean, that, you know, the Almighty, you know what I mean, bestowed upon me, you know, through the people, them. You know, when they saw the contingency of Canadians that came down because of the way I was, because it was a big accomplishment for me, you know what I mean? Like, to be amongst, you know what I mean, the biggest names in reggae and dancehall music, from producers, you know, to songwriters, composers, to the artists themselves, and then, you know, Junior Gang Marley, Gangzilla, Stephen Raga Marley, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? It doesn't get any bigger than that, you know what I mean? And if I was to, you know what I mean, stop today, I could honestly say I fulfilled, you know, a life dream, you know, even just being able to make it on that Jamrock Cruise. And, you know, when she called me and said, yeah, it was a go, you know what I mean? I was just there as an ambassador, made an impact, because, you know, me, I'm coming, you know, Scarborough, Toronto style. You know, remember, we used to come as 40 people to make that impact. So now I'm just going there, me and my wife, you know, really, you know. And, you know, I got to, you know, do everything. So I'm like all over the place, you know what I mean? Trying to make myself useful. Because as I said, when I was doing radio, I was there in the mornings, you know, doing all the stuff nobody else wants to do. Because if you want something,
you got to hustle. It's the hustle.
You got to grind, man.
You got to make it happen.
So, you know what I mean? Like, I always think, like, when I go there, I'm there with Camilla McDonald. Big up to her.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I'm DJing for her exercise classes.
I see
After,
that.
You know, me DJing in the night and stuff like that, and bleaching and cutting dubs and, you know, being amongst the artists, them, you know what I mean? Like, even magical nights. Because on that cruise, if you snooze, you lose.
Yeah.
There's a night where my wife, you know, she wasn't feeling well and she went to bed. You know, so I'm going to go and check Gang them. So I'm in the room, Gang is in the room, you know, Sham's there, Taurus Riley's there, like Wayne Marshall's there, like, you know what I mean? They're like a kid in a candy store, literally. And they're just reasoning about life. You know what I mean? And I'm like, you know me, I'm there worrying about the wife because I know she's sick and we're on the boat, whatever the case is. I say, yo, man, them, you know, I forgot, you know, saw to wife. And, you know, this is a few days after the proposal. He said, yeah, man, Ray. You know, 5 minutes I went into the room, you know, with the wife. Those men all went, and there's a thing called the bridge in the main part of the boat, where everyone DJs sing. And they had a thing called singers versus the DJ. So all the singers turned DJ and all the DJs turned singer. And it was just a big clash, you know, it's historical moments. So on that cruise, so many things happen. You can't sleep, you know what I mean? So, and then, you know, then with the second year, you know, I got invited back, obviously. And I went there to go and play and, you know, really put some damage on, you know what I mean, that boat, you know, capsized it. And then that year we had won World Clash. And then since we had won World Clash, I had introduced them. I said, you know, since we won World Clash and the clash is going on, why don't you bring, you know, my sound, you know what I mean? And that's why that whole winner of the World Clash thing got born into the whole concept of thing, even though the clash is going, but just to add that extra different element, you know what I mean? So that's how that whole thing there went, same way too. And just, you know, just being a part of it and, you know, and just represent reggae and dancehall music on that boat from a Canadian perspective. And you know, it's so funny that Canadians make up, I think, either second most amount of people on the boat or the first. And every year, yeah, man, that's the impact. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? And I have to give thanks for that too. And I know that's a lot of, you know what I mean, my doing, you know, through the mediums that I have. But you know what I mean, just, you know, great. And to just be there on that boat. Because a lot of people, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's weird because when you're on that boat, you don't really know who you are until you're really on that boat. And you see regular people that you'd never ever know from like Spain or from Bermuda or from like somewhere like Japan or whatever the case. And they're saying, yo, that's Spex. Can I get a picture of that Spex? You know what I mean? And they catapult you and put you in that category as like a Radigan or Barry G or, you know what I mean? Like, you know, on them kind of scales there as far as like Remuta Baruka, you know what I mean? Like, you know, it really shows, you know, I really put in the work and it made me feel like, I really worked hard and deserved to be here, you know?
That's crazy. And how many years have you been on the Jamrock Cruise?
This year will be, I think it's going on, either it's 5th year. Last year was the 5th year? Yeah, last year was the 5th year. So this year's the 6th year, then I'll be on it 5 years.
Consecutive.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, man. And it's crazy because it's sold out and just having the artists them around you and just amongst them around the place. And, you know, it's like, you go to Jamaica for even 2 weeks and you cannot do what you do on the Jamrock Cruise if you're in Jamaica. Think about it, man. You have like, just think about it. Just think about it. You have like Stone Love, Renaissance, Bass Odyssey, King Jammies, Bodyguard, Heavy Hammer, Renaissance, King Turbo. Then you have like ZJ Liquid, Tony Maturan, Spex Da Boss, Mad Out. You have Robo Ranks, Shawnee B, you know what I mean? All these DJs sound, every night there's a dance. Then you have a clash there. Then every night there's a concert. So one night you'll have like Jockey or Chronixx, Taurus Riley, Moisture Griffiths, that's one night. The next night you'll have like Popcorn, Sizzla, Damian Marley, you know what I mean? And every night's a big concert. So you're not gonna see all those artists them in this, even in the space of 5 years, you will not see or get what you get on the Jamrock Cruise in the space of the 5-6 days that we're on that ocean. It's not a joke, crazy. Man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And to be there is a true honor. And it's not something that I take lightly, man. And if you get a chance, man, anyone listening right now, watching right now, go to the Jamrock Cruise. It's the real deal.
You know what? I think I'm going to take you up on that.
No, man, you can't, man. Just do it, man. Just do it, man.
No, because as you say,
that's to live, man. If you're in this industry, let me tell you something. You know what I mean? If you're in this industry, you know what I mean, called the reggae and dancehall music or anything associated with it, you know what I mean? This is like the biggest reggae dancehall music conference, gathering, festival. Whatever you want to go, festival, party, clash, whatever you want to call it, all in one spot. You will not get anything like that. And it doesn't matter what I did on one cruise. It probably took me about 14 years in the game to do. You know what I mean? In my 30-year career. You know what I mean? And it's not no joke. So, you know what I mean? If you're a sound selector, DJ, MC, radio host, personality, blogger, whatever in this game here, you need to get on that cruise.
I hear you. Since we're talking about relationships.
And hold on, and shout out to big up to Dan Dalton and big up to Lindsay and, you know, Tanya Moore and, you know, the whole Jamrock family. You know what I mean? It truly is an honor and pleasure, and I don't take it lightly.
No, we see you all the time all the time. That's why I say relationships now. We've seen you on the Long Road to Freedom tour.
Oh, wow. Again,
in Jamaica. You know what I mean?
Yes.
The Buju Banton returns.
Yes.
How did that even come together, and how did it feel being there to witness that?
Well, you see, when me and Gargamel, like when it came to Canada and Buju, our relationship was different. Like, you know what I mean? From my being like, when I just started in the game, he's one of the first artists that I met, like in Malvern, and you know what I mean, like playing soccer, and you know what I mean, just amongst the place, and you know what I mean. So he's one of those artists, and them times his thing was like fiery, and that was like one of the first international dubs that Turbo got. You know what I mean, just before I had joined on Turbo with Stamina Daddy and Come Test Me Now, and Song for Dead, and what was the next one on that plate? The next bad one too on it.
Okay, so it was 4 on there.
Yeah, I can remember on them times there was 4 on the plate.
Yes.
It was Stamina Batty Rider.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, man. So yeah, man, his thing was just very, very hot, and I just kept a real relationship. Every time he came to Canada, I always made sure, as I said, I ran down the artists, them, and especially when I had the opportunity, like for instance, when him and Coco T were here, I was able to, you know what I mean, do a combination with them together. So I was always just, every time he came here, I always made sure to cut Buju Banton, and, you know, anything to a point where sometimes, you know, I'd have to drop him back to the hotel or, you know, drive him around in Toronto, or, you know what I mean? And
a whole lot of real vibes outside of just dubs.
Yeah, man, what I was thinking, Buju's just, you know what I mean? He's just so mystical and magical. It's not even to just hold a vibes with them, you know what I mean? Sometimes you just have to just shut up and just listen and just learn, you know what I mean? And that was the thing, because one thing about me, I don't overstep my place with the artists, them, you know what I mean?
You know
what I mean? You know how to really deal with them still. So just to be amongst them, you know what I mean? It's just a blessing, especially Buju, you know what I mean? And when he came out of jail, you know, I always checked up on him, you know, when he was in jail. I always just contact his kids, them,
Okay.
you know, and his family, you know, and, you know what I mean, just tell him, you know, send my blessings or anything for you guys, you know what I mean, just let me know if you need anything, whatever the case is, you know what I mean, we can't do much, but, you know what I mean, I'm in Canada, you know what I mean, and they have family here and same way thing and all that too, so, when he came out of jail, I just made sure just make it a note to just go to Jamaica. I didn't know if I was going to see him. You know what I mean? I said, I'm going to take the chance.
Bruh.
You know what I mean? I linked his son. He said he has it in the studio. You know what I mean? Come check him. You know, come. You know what I mean? I said, find out first. Because I've been to Buju's studio and I've seen enough artists, enough sounds, enough selectors get run. To the point where Buju's in front of them. They're like, yo, Buju, what go on? Buju no there. Check him a little more. Like, no joke thing, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? You can't just cross the border, so, you know what I mean? So I told him, go check, you know what I mean? Because I don't want to be that one to get run. You know what I mean? The first one, you know, as him, you know what I mean? As a man touch it. No, man, I can't be, you know? I'm about making history and creating history, but I'm not about that history there. So he said, yeah, man, come check him. So, you know what I mean? And the wife went down there, you know what I mean? Stayed in the yard for a few, and, you know, he was in the studio, and he said, yo, Buju said, hold on. You know, so another like 30 minutes went by, whatever the case is.
How that goes already.
And all of a sudden, yo, Spex. Come here, man, come. You know what I mean? And so I think, oh my gosh, it's Buju, you know what I mean? And you know what I mean? It's like, because in this game, you know, you can't really say friend, you know what I mean? Because, you know what I mean, he's not friend, but you know what I mean, just somebody that I watched in this
Real
game.
Solid
you know what I mean?
connect.
And, you know, I'm just happy to see him, you know what I mean, on the earth in the place, you know what I mean? In Jamaica, you know what I mean? So, you know, I was just so happy and just, you know what I mean, this tingle just went, you know what I mean, I can't believe it, you know what I mean? Buju's here, you know what I mean? He saw me, he goes, oh, go on, Spex. I was like, yo, you know what I mean, first, you know, I introduced my wife and blah, 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 you know what I mean? But, you know, first of all, Spex, no disrespect, but, you know, no pictures. You know, no pictures. Because he knows our thing, he knows, you know, my wife, you know, first thing, you know what I mean? But I understand I wasn't going for that because I'm not going to be the person run in. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And, you know what I mean? We just think, I honestly only talked to him about like 5-6 minutes, you know what I mean? But it was just worth that 5-6 minutes, you know what I mean? And, you know what I mean? Just, you know what I mean? Give thanks, you know what I mean? Bless up, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Quick hug and, you know, and then man just jump down Big Benz and, you know what I mean? Off the road right now, come up and get ready for the concert. And then I got to send a big shout out to like Sharon Burke and the whole Solid Agency, you know, to Ariel and, you know, to Mr. Gordon over there and, you know, the whole team, you know, and Jabba and, you know, from Hot 97, Buttafuoco, them, you know what I mean, for giving me the opportunity when they came up with the concert and everything, they gave me the opportunity to do that's how that whole thing came down. The welcome party and another great accomplishment again, and I didn't even include that. You know what I mean, the amount of Canadians that were there. Now imagine if there was like almost 20,000 people in that stadium, or more than 20, was it 40,000? I don't remember, whatever amount of thousand.
Crazy amount.
Imagine how many people were in Jamaica from all over the world at that welcome party. You know what I mean? And for me to get that option to really, you know what I mean, show because my style is just different, you know what I mean?
I heard about it.
You know what I mean?
From
It's
here
just different, you know what I mean? And just to be there, just to warm up the crowd, you know what I mean, for, you know, my brethren in the business, you know what I mean, and having that honor. And, you know what I mean, there's so many sounds, you know what I mean, all over the world that, you know what I mean, you would think that would be on that thing there. And I was one out of like 4 that were chosen to do it. And
crazy.
And I feel I represented.
Of course you
But
did.
there's always room. I know that I made a few mistakes in myself because I'm a perfectionist like that. But I'm just glad that the people that accepted me, you know what I mean? And I didn't get a buckle in the yard.
Did you do the Barbados one also?
Yes, I was in Barbados too, and that was actually with the station. Even though I was going to go there on my own, because my whole plan with the wife was we were going to go to as much of the islands and really go and support Buju, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Because one thing about me is I don't leave the island too much because I do the radio. I don't even DJ out of the island too much because I just find it more important for me to really be here in Toronto. But for something so magical and monumental and mystical like that, you know what I mean? I just felt I had to be a part of that just to show that Canadian representation. You know what I mean? Like I'm a person out there rocking Raptor jerseys, TFC jerseys, Blue Jay jerseys, you know, and you know what I mean? Just, you know, showing Toronto there and being amongst the media and, you know what I mean? Just show a face, you know what I mean? And it just happened that thing. I was going to go anyways, that the station got invited to be a part of it. Because I saw the power of the station as far as, you know what I mean, how the impact that the station has on the Caribbean on a whole. Because you have to remember, our station is not a normal station. It's listened to from all the islands, them, and, You know what I mean? A lot of the prime ministers of those islands and, you know, leaders of islands have been to our station, have met Mr. Gordon. So certain foundations have been met and have been made and met. So, you know, when it came across, you know, it was okay, even better. I don't have to pay for my flight. Hey, you know what I mean? So I went down there and, you know, when I saw there's so many giants there at that stage show there too. And, you know, just made the link. And, you know what I mean? Tutus when I'm down there, you know, whenever I'm there, I meet a lot of people. I see Jazzy T, Renaissance there, you know, my brethren, my good friend, big up Jazzy T. He's like, yo, come, may I play, man? Come, I could go up on stage, you know. So Tutus, I'm on the stage, you know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? It's where I'm supposed to be. It's just these things is where I'm supposed to be, and I'm very comfortable with it, and that's my accomplishment. It's like being able to be comfortable with it and being able to be known, and even just to be in some places and just, you know, people just say, yo, big up Spex Canada, another place. You know what I mean? It's just a small big up, but that's just monumental throughout the whole thing, you know? Don't
you remember when one time you say you're from Canada, people almost laugh at you? It was laughable one time.
And I used to tell them, I used to say, watch, we're going to take over the world. And I used to tell them that all the time. I used to tell them all the time. And I say, use your favorite sound. All right, I'm going to kill them. You know what I mean? I'm going to think, watch out. And they think tutus, you know, whenever we buck up. And, you know what I mean? A lot of sounds and a lot of things aren't clash, you know, where things, you know, where you kill a sound, you know what I mean, in a clash. But there's been sometimes, you know what I mean? Like, for instance, on Jamrock Cruise where we have little clashes and like, because everything's a lot spontaneous or, you know, when you're in a dance and tutus at end of night, you know what I mean? There's been time where I have to just ruffle up some feathers and stuff, same way, you know what I mean?
I could defend myself over
it. So, you know what I mean? But yeah, I'm solving fun and games, man.
Crazy. When it comes to the artist business now, who are some of your closer, we'll call them friends for right now, when it comes to artists that you could say, you know,
it's family to me still, because
I link this person.
I would say it's more family because the friends, they'll still charge you. And you know, the dub plate price right now thing is really out of hand. And you know what I mean? I'm really upset with the artists about it too, because they're really messing up the game or taking advantage of the game, because since social media, they don't really need sound selectors, radio personalities, because they can promote and push their own stuff. You know what I mean? Whereas one time, you know what I mean, sound selectors and radio personalities were almost bigger than the government in Jamaica, if not bigger. You get what I'm saying? Because we're the reasons why you're able to travel, you know, when you're not able to travel and so forth. So a lot of the artists then forget where they came from in that aspect there, and the sounds and selectors them that, and the radio people that helped to build them. But as far as the family, I would have to say, I would have to say first, you know what I mean, my father in the game would probably be Freddie McGregor. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then my brothers would be like Steven the Genius and Chino. You know what I mean? Whenever I need anything, you know, they're always there to help me. And then like uncles would be like Coco T. He's always there to help me. Taurus Riley, my brother. He's like my twin brother in the game. You know, nerd gang. You know what I mean?
Salute.
Gang, you know what I mean? Then there's like, for instance, like my little sister, like Shensia right now. You know, there's so many, you know, if I have to name them. What do you think? Wayne Marshall.
From time.
You know what I mean? You know, Bunty, I can call him a big bad brother. You know what I mean? You know, Beanie. You know what I mean? Almost Chronixx. You know what I mean? Protege. You know what I mean? There's so many artists, you know what I mean? For me to, Wayne Wonder, you know what I mean? How can I forget Shinehead? You know what I mean? There's so many artists, them, you know what I mean? Even Governor, them, you know, Idonia, you know, if I need anything, you know, I know that, you know, like, there's just so many artists, them, and it's not even just the artists, them, it's the people, them, amongst the artists, them, you know what I mean? Like, even Movado, them, Jamil, you know what I mean? Buju, you know what I mean? Sizzla, there's so many, you know what I mean?
Goes on and on.
I know if I call them, you know what I mean? And anytime I have called them, they've always, you know, most artists, any time I've called them, they've been there for me. Some deal with me better than others, but, you know, it's all about situation. And in this game, you never question somebody's price, you know what I mean? And you always, you know, respect it, you know what I mean? And my price is always different than everyone else's price, so I can't even really complain if I do pay a price.
That makes sense. You know what I mean? You brought up something that I totally forgot. You opened up the show for Chronixx down at Nathan Phillips Square.
Oh, man, yes.
Yeah. What was that like in your city? That was probably the biggest crowd you played for in your city?
Well, there was the Air Canada Center when Bounty Elephant and Lady saw Frisco
Kevin
Kid,
Little,
Kevin Little, yes, oh my
Coco
gosh,
T.
Allison Hines and
I
Coco
have the
T.
thing there. I have the poster of it in my office right now. Right.
So those are like big accomplishments. Playing at like Air Canada Center as a reggae DJ and a reggae concert, probably the first and only concert of that magnitude. You know what I mean? There's been like thing, but you know, to actually Chronixx, you know what I mean? It was just Chronixx, and I told people this because remember I was voicing Chronixx, you know, before Chronixx really broke. You know, that's how our relationship kind of developed because I never wasn't a bandwagonist. You know what I mean? I personally look for the artist. I'm gonna search big up to Atul because Atul was another person that really believed in him same way too. And you know, before he really came out with like Behind Curtains and Warrior, and you know, I mean, they don't know it's just really just, you know what I mean? Just you know what I mean? It wasn't even bust. It wasn't even bust. It was just a tune if you heard it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Your thing, you say, oh, this is a nice little tune. You know what I mean? That's how it was because, you know, Atul's a man that's always, you know, researching the thing and saying we got to get them before, you know what I mean? And, you know what I mean? Just from them times there, you know, I was saying, you know, this guy could possibly be, and I don't want anyone to misquote me or misjudge me, but I said this person can be almost like a Bob Marley, a Damian Marley, you know, like someone that can transcend the music. You know, we're not saying that they're this and they're this, but you know what I mean, that can transcend it. And you know what I mean, and people laughed at me. And look at him now. Crazy. You know what I mean? Crazy. It's not even a thing. You know what I mean? When you see. And as I said, you got to be on the Jamrock Cruise to see these things. And I've seen him like perform in different parts of the world and stuff like that. And his thing is just different, and it's just different and global, you know what I mean, when it comes to like Africa and Europe and, you know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? You know, the very few concerts he came down here, I was the opening DJ for him. So when the Nathan Phillips thing came with the manifesto came on, they asked me to be a part of it. I can't say no. You know, it's in Toronto, Nathan Phillips Square, manifesto. You know, I'm thinking there's gonna be at least 6,000 people there. There's like about like 15,000 people that was in the square. That's not including all the people that were in the buildings. Remember, that's like City Hall, all the hotels, and you know, people on the roofs, and you know what I mean, looking down. And when I tell you, man, when I'm playing tunes like the Dennis Brown, them, the Gregory Isaacs, and the Junior Reeds, and the, you know, the Barrington Levy's, and the Half Pints, and Sizzlas, and the, you know what I mean, and the forwards are coming up, and the forwards forward means cheering people. You know what I mean? When the forwards are busting, they're bouncing off the buildings. You know what I mean? It's a different, oh my goodness, man.
It's a different
I felt like I had superpowers, man. I've gotten a lot of forwards in my life, but yo, them forward there,
different.
Matrix style. Crazy. Yeah, man, that was a great accomplishment again, too.
Yeah, because remember, there's, you know what, there's so much stuff that after a while, it's like you have to ask you the question, then you remember, oh, okay, yes, I remember that. And I so much.
But I wasn't doing it to get the followers. Just my style, it's just different, you know what I mean? Just the music, because during that concert, I'm very limited, because you can't try to, you know what I mean, want to go on like you are the show, and want to take over the show and still. But at the same time, you got to make an impact, you know what I mean? You can't flop. You know what I mean? So you know what I mean? I just playing some tunes. So I'm like, at one time I was like, oh, I wonder how Chronixx are going to manage this. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to be the thing. Because as I said, I don't want to try to outshine the artists them. You know what I mean? Because, you know what I mean? Those are relationship breakers too, you know what I mean? Crazy. And you know what I mean? Daddy Barnes, we got to Daddy Barnes, them, you know what I mean? They actually, you know what I mean? They were actually happy with the job I did. And, you know, Chronixx flattened it completely anyways. But, you know what I mean? It was just great to see him rebuild what I broke down and then broke it down even 10 times worse.
Crazy.
You know?
Chronixx is a crazy.
Yeah, big up to Chronixx and Daddy Barnes, you know what I mean? Just like a few days ago, you know what I mean? They sent me a dub into my email. It's out of nowhere, you know what I mean? Yeah. And one thing is, he doesn't cut for anyone and all that. And, you know, he always said that I probably am the one that has the most Chronixx dubs in the world and all that.
I agree.
Just to be on that level, and just, you know, for someone to just remember, you know, where they started from to where they go. So that's what I'm saying to young selectors, DJs, MC sounds, and, you know what I mean? You got to try find that talent before it really break, because you never know. You know what I mean? Sometimes you got to take a chance. You know what I mean? You got to gamble.
Build it and nurture
Invest.
it. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And understanding from there, that's so crazy. It's like, you lived a life, but sometimes you got to look back and say, holy smokes, I really accomplished all of this here.
That's the problem, man. Yeah. Because, you know, it's like, and I'm tired, you know what I mean? Over the years, people see me. A lot of people, I say, well, you always wear sunglasses and all that, because a lot of times I'm so tired. You know what I mean? I don't really want people to see me tired and stuff like that. But you got to keep going, and especially, you know, with that whole, during the whole turbo, you know, with the whole turbo thing, not during, but with the whole turbo thing, you know what I mean? Those real life sets in, and when people have jobs and responsibilities and all that, you know what I mean? From about
it's different.
2001, 2002, me and me and Atul really took it upon ourselves, you know what I mean, to really deal with this. So I was flying out to make those relationships, you know what I mean, bleaching out, staying out till after 4 o'clock, cutting dubs after concerts with artists, you know, have to sacrifice, you know, as I said, with work, you know what I mean, my job it's different. I gotta do this, because if I don't do this, who's gonna do it? You know, and it's all about leaving a legacy. Yeah. You know, I want my name to be talked about.
For sure.
You know what I mean? In great ways.
1,000% agree.
You know what I mean? And it's expected of me. You know what I mean? I didn't want it. You know what I mean? But
and that's what it is. You brought up something too when it comes to dubs. What are your 5 favorite dubs in King Turbo's box? Your 5 favorite.
I could never ever say that. You're asking me to go through, like, honestly, about like 6,000 dubs, over 6,000. I think about it, over 6,000 that I have mixed down. And remember, back in the days, as I said, a dub plate used to have 4 dubs.
Yeah.
So remember back in those days when, you know, when we were investing in artists, we're cutting 6, 8. But we couldn't only really afford it, because after you spend the big money on the artist, you can afford to, you know what I mean, cut 1 plate and put 4 tunes on it. Yeah. So there's some times where, like, you know, rest in peace, like Alta Ellis, where, you know what I mean, we might cut like 6, 8 of them, and we only put 4 on the plate, but we forgot about the other 4 or 5, you know what I mean, that are on a DAT and all that, because I've been going through a lot of stuff from the other day and finding a lot
that weren't cut before.
Yo, let me tell you something, man.
Yeah.
I'm not even saying it, because that thing, but all I can say is, like, for me to choose favorite, and it's not even say favorite as far as even the song, it's about experience.
But then that's what I mean. It doesn't the journey. It could be some dub that we probably never even heard before. 5 of your favorite that you hold to your heart.
There's just so many, man.
Okay, I'll give you an easy one first. The Barris and Marcia. That's 1. Give me 4 more.
I don't know if that would make it in my. That's what I'm trying to show you. Everything is so debatable. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know what I mean? There's like Shaba Kokoti. You know what I mean? There's like, for instance, Barrington Shabazz, you know what I mean? You guys, the journeys that we had to go to get some of these dubs here.
Yeah.
You know, Smith and Wesson, we'll say, now that everyone's cutting it, but I cut that back in the day, lay waiting them after a concert and thing like that on a little mini 4-track recorder and stuff. You know what I mean?
That's how you got
it was basically on an acapella. So there's like little journeys. It was an acapella. Then, you know, I had to go to, you know what I mean, Ron Nelson's studio and build back the rhythm. And, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? There's so many, so I'm saying, a lot of stuff, it may have taken like 4 or 5 years to complete. You know what I mean? There's like so many things, like Supercat. I told you about the journey with that one. That took me like about 25 years to get. You know what I mean? Like there's so many, Maxi Priest. Yeah. You know what I mean? Tassan Chen, before, you know, she really broke out, you know what I mean, with Hideaway and stuff like that. And before she took off with The Voice. You know what I mean? There's so many things, like even like, I could say, for instance, even my wedding song, Taurus Riley Superman, customized. You know what I mean? She's Royal that he did on stage, and the custom. You know what I mean? There's so many, a lot. You know what I mean? I can't pick a top 5. All of them are my favorite. Any dub that I had my hand in, I know I put my blood, sweat, and tears into it. Yeah. And Atul, you know what I mean? You know, he gave the drive, the will, and sometimes even the expenses of it. Most times with the expenses of it. You know what I mean? Never take anything away from that. And that's even the people them, because the dubs them also bring back a lot of history, memories of who was there when it was cut. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, for instance, the first time I met Beanie Man, like, in person and cut dubs was at Sniper Studio, Big Royce. And it was a frightening time because Black Reaction used to par with Beanie Man. And they were in the studio booth while I was cutting the tune and all that. You know what I mean? So I had to go in there and be like, you know what I mean? This was like after the Clash and all them thing there. This was after? This like about like a year after that. Because remember that, you know, they might see Ricky and Andrew and them, but you don't see me. Yeah. You know what I mean? You don't, because I'm, you know, I'm off in my own world. I'm in Snakey's world doing my own thing, trying to make different things happen and all that. So they're in the, so that's memories like that, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? There's just so many, I can't pick 5.
We say can't.
You know what I mean? Just like even Shaggy and Rick Rock at the Much Music Studios, you know what I mean? Certain things were done in certain places, you know, that you can't, like even John Holt before he passed away, I was in his house, you know what I mean? Cutting dubs with him, like, Police and Helicopter, Stick By Me, and them kind of tunes there, you know what I mean? So a lot of things happening. Even on the Jamrock Cruise, I'm cutting a lot of different dubs and stuff too, and you know what I mean? Then I can't name 5, man.
Okay, I got even a better one for you then. An artist that you tried your best to get on dub, and to this day you did not get it. Somebody that you just, oh man.
Somebody that thing I just, oh man. I would probably say someone like Prince Buster.
Okay.
Burning Spear.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, as I said, like my thinking and catalog is kind of different. You know what I mean? A lot of people, you know what I mean? Like when I tell you I try to have everything in every, like to go, if you went down the alphabet,
yeah,
I probably have a dub from every letter in the alphabet. No joke.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm very serious. You know, A from Alton Ellis to Z to Zebra. You know what I mean? Just to name a few, and then you know what I mean.
You just
you know
came off your head like that.
So yeah, man. Wow.
Yeah.
And I go, yeah, I'm lost. And this is what happened with the last interview. You had me going home and just thinking about a lot of stuff, man. You know what I mean? But
when you say Burning Spear and these guys, that's not a little.
There's very few people I don't have that thing that Atul and I made sure that thing. We made sure to get everyone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It didn't matter. You know what I mean? Even if it's tunes that we had to cut over and stuff like that. You know, we were the first to like cut Ernie Smith, Duppy and Gunman. Sat down and wrote that in a hotel with them. Me, Atul, Shot, and Mighty, I believe, and Seston. You know what I mean? Just so many. As I said, every dub has a certain memory.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you know what I mean, because a lot of the artists, them, you know what I mean, they've never ever done. Some of them never did dubs before, so having to teach them and coach them into doing dubs and stuff like that.
That's how serious they got at times.
I mean, there's just a lot of their like friends like Special Eds and stuff like that, KRS Ones, and you know what I mean. Like,
what was it like cutting a KRS One?
I mean, I wasn't there. That's Atul right there. You know, Atul was an original hip hop head.
Okay, so
you know, so he made sure to cut a lot of the hip hop dubs. Them, you know that.
So you did the Smith, which is were you around for any of the hip hop dubs?
Yeah, I was around for a few probably.
Yeah,
I was around for a few.
Crazy, Specs.
Oh, one I was thinking, one I can name.
Yeah,
that is one of my personal, and it's this one's just out of this world. Is what's the name again? I can't believe I don't remember the name. They're the first hip hop group.
Sugar Hill Gang.
Sugar Hill Gang. Yes, that dub there, man.
How did you guys fathom to think to cut that?
Because that's what, you know, as I said, Turbo was a juggling sound and a music sound, and you know what I mean, when they always try to set that history and all that, and that was just before one of their main members passed away too. I forget his name, may he rest in peace. But that's, you know, I mean, just things like that. Yeah,
that's big. Want to ask you about one clash that you brought up that we didn't really get into. The Super Fresh class. Specs.
And you know what, how that came up? Because I remember, because I said when I left there last time, you had my memory really jogging. And I remember you meet me in Malvern by my house, by the bridge in between the school and my house there. You know, shout out to Duke. Duke knows what I'm talking about there. And you came in thinking, I didn't want it, because them times I was very protective of audio, which was one of the worst things I could have ever done, because that really stifled the sound's career. Because I was the kind of person that you couldn't record a turbo dance. I'd always stop your cassette deck or plug it out. Or
I remember.
You know what I mean? But you were one of the people that got through it. Or I'd record it, and if I promised you, I give it to you, I give it to you. And I remember you came there and gave me like $50 for it. Made like about like 20,000. But it was important, you know what I mean? And the thing, because you had their side, but you didn't have our side.
You understand.
You know what I mean? And you were crazy with it. You had mini dats. You always taught me about even technology and recording too.
Okay.
Yeah, man. That's one thing I have to say about you.
Big up.
You went from like CD, the tape to the VCR for longer tape length, then the mini disc and that and all. Yeah, but anyways, with that clash, I remember, big up to Love Jones. Me and him went down there because we went down to the clash. It was in the West again. I forget that place called. What was it called?
That was La Gioconda.
Oh my gosh, it was something like that. Or
Marina
like
Bank.
Marina Bank Hall, one of them.
It was right across
one of them crabby places.
Yes.
You know, when you talk about crabby. And yeah, man, we went there to go and make sure the sound was set up thing, and we were there, and it was just me and Love Jones there, and me and the dub box them. Cause remember, I was in charge of like dub box them, and Ricky and Angie them weren't there. And
they didn't call
11:15 came, they weren't there. 11:30 came, they weren't there. 12 o'clock came, they weren't there. And I'm fretting there, west. Say, yo, I'll go out, right. So they finally came into the clash. And the clash started, and it was very, very intense. I remember it was very intense and frightening. Cause remember, we're young and we're from the East and the West, but we always had an East crowd with us. Big up to our crowd. We had a crowd from all over, because even though West was like west of Yonge Street, we still had our crowd from like Windsor and Kitchener and London and St. Catharines and Cambridge and Hamilton, and you know what I mean? Because our thing was just kind of, you know what I mean? Bigger than that. And I just remember that clash was going on, and it was harsh, you know what I mean? And those guys were really like the hardcore, and all the soundmen them were there. And one thing about Turbo, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter. We could be playing God on dub, you know what I mean? The West End Sounds them definitely hated us, and then the West End Sounds and people them hated us at that time. So there's nothing we could have done.
Yeah.
You know, and then I remember what happened was during when Super Fresh them were playing, just before we played, Ricky went on the mic and said something like he dissed Rosa from Soul to Soul, you know, out of nowhere. And then one of Rosa's henchmen, them remember what name again? I think it was like Lawrence. It was yo. So man, they started just getting riled up in the dance, whatever case is. So I know I must have went to the bathroom because I said after every clash, Shot's more of a freestyle person, so he doesn't really want to what everyone now go on or whatever. He's out, you know what I mean, getting his own energy, and Ricky's amongst the people, them whatever the case is, you know what I mean. And I'm with the box guarding the assets, them and making sure we don't play back the tune, them whatever case, and doing what my job, because one thing about Turbo is we don't play back tunes unless it's on dub, you know what I mean, or unless I'm not there, you know what I mean, or like John Mighty's not there, or Seston's not there, or BJ's not there, because everybody has their job for listening to sound quality, what tunes play, certain talks that are made, what can be counteracted. So everybody has to big up suspense, and you know what I mean. So I got heated. So Ricky went upstairs to the bathroom, him and my cousin Everett. And I guess Lawrence, or I forget what his name was. I don't want to disrespect anyone. And I shouldn't even be calling out names, but this is a history. And, you know what I mean? And and I said it was a different time there. Now everyone's a big person now. We all have love and respect for each other. I just saw Rosa on the Yush cruise. Just this past, man, I was so shocked to see him. Big up Rosa, so you know what I mean? You know, the amount of love that he showed me, you know what I mean? And him seeing me grow up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Always put me in my place too. You know what I mean? Say, yo, radio, you can't play a certain tune, you can't say certain thing, you can't dance certain. Anyways, so something happened in the washroom still.
Okay.
And it was our turn to play. So I guess Slingshot must have been upstairs or whatever, or outside, whatever the case is. And something happened upstairs. And next thing I know is that Ricky's nowhere to be found. We'll just say he wasn't in the building. He wasn't in the building, whatever the case is. And it's our turn to play. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I'm like, fuck. Excuse my language. I'm like, damn. Yeah. You know? So I had to like select a tune and play a tune. So I was like, you know me, I'm using my selector intelligence now because it's beer high grade in the place. The place is dark and whatever the case is. And I know that
you're in the garrison right now.
I know I have my commercial crowd will call them. You know what I mean? So I selected Roundhead with the Hallelujah intro, and then I said, the weed man not a place, and then it came with the weed where we are smoke prescribed by and the place went and then a shot bust in the place, and the dance was done. You know what I mean? And the dance was done. You know what I mean? So everyone says, oh, Super Fresh won it, whatever the case is, but it never finished. But if you want to call it, I got the last forward. If you want to say, dance mash up, you know what I mean? Shot fire, beer salute, and dance done. You know what I mean?
Crazy.
But on the real, that dance never really ever finished. Yeah. Well, it was Super Fresh's dance, so I'm sure they have the trophy.
Yeah. This podcast is brought to you by www.twolinedmusichut.com.